Compliance is not the exciting part of selling insurance, but it is the part that protects your license, your commissions, and your clients. This video covers the non-negotiable rules every agent must follow. These are not suggestions. They are regulatory requirements, and getting them wrong can end a career before it starts. The scope of appointment is the foundation of every Medicare sales conversation. An SOA is a document the client signs that gives you permission to discuss specific types of products. If the client agrees to discuss Medicare Advantage, that is what you can discuss. If they did not agree to discuss Part D, you cannot bring it up unless you get a new scope signed. The SOA must be signed before the appointment begins. CMS requires a minimum of 48 hours between when the SOA is signed and when the appointment takes place, unless the beneficiary initiates the contact and requests a sooner meeting. Keep a copy of every signed SOA on file. If an enrollment is ever audited, the SOA is the first thing they look for. Disclaimers are required statements you must read to the client during the enrollment process. These are scripted by CMS and the carrier, and they must be delivered exactly as written. You cannot paraphrase, shorten, or skip any part of them. The disclaimers cover things like the client's right to disenroll, confirmation that they understand the plan's costs and benefits, and acknowledgement that their information is accurate. When you are enrolling a client over the phone, the entire conversation, including the disclaimers, must be recorded. In person, the client's signature on the enrollment application serves as their acknowledgement. Either way, the disclaimers are not optional, and the delivery method matters. Recording rules apply anytime you are completing an enrollment over the phone. The call must be recorded from the point where the enrollment begins. The recording must capture the client's verbal consent to enroll, all required disclaimers, and confirmation of their personal information. Do not start the enrollment portion of the call without the recording running. If the recording fails or is incomplete, the enrollment can be invalidated. Most enrollment platforms have built-in recording, but verify that it is active before you begin. Some states have additional recording consent requirements, so check your state's rules as well. Marketing rules are another area where new agents get into trouble. You cannot make unsolicited phone calls to people on the do not call list. You cannot send unsolicited text messages about Medicare products. You cannot go door to door selling Medicare plans without a prior appointment. You cannot host an event and turn it into a sales presentation without following CMS event guidelines. Marketing materials must be CMS approved or carrier approved before you use them. If you are creating your own flyers, social media posts, or mailers, check with your FMO or carrier to make sure they meet compliance standards before you distribute them. There are a few more rules that apply to every client interaction. You cannot say anything negative about another plan, another carrier, or another agent to influence a client's decision. You cannot guarantee specific health outcomes. You cannot mislead a client about a plan's benefits, costs, or network, and you cannot enroll someone in a plan without their informed, voluntary consent. These rules exist to protect the client, and following them protects you. Here is the simple way to think about all of this. If you follow 3 habits, you will stay compliant in almost every situation. First, always have a signed SOA before you discuss plans. Second, always read disclaimers exactly as written and record phone enrollments. Third, never make claims about a plan that you cannot verify in the plan documents. Those 3 habits cover the vast majority of compliance issues new agents run into. Your action step. Go to your enrollment platform and locate where the SOA is generated and where the disclaimers are displayed during the enrollment process. Walk through both so you know exactly where they appear and what they say. Compliance becomes simple when you know your tools and follow the process every time.